off of the ledge is likely to be a very, very big boon against the side B ledge traps from DDD, where Yoshi might have a little bit more trouble. You're already seeing a lot of counterplay against Gordos coming from LoNg0uw. Nice pivot grab.
Keeping him away with Zers there.
DDD's neutral options are unfortunately, compared to many other characters, allowed. And
pretty limited. Yeah.
They're very limited, so he has to make some very big calls and sometimes take risks that may not pay off. I do play my colleague in Barcelona, Tropel, every now and then, who is one of the many DDDs in Spain, inspired by Bardo.
Yeah, in Japan we don't have too many. There's notably Zaki. Other than that, there aren't too many high-level DDDs that I've played.
Yeah, and Japan is known for having a lot of
pretty
mid-tier and low-tier characters.
Yeah, a lot of mid-tier heroes and low-tier heroes out in Japan.
So I think it's safe to say that to some extent the prevalence of DDD in Spain is very much due to Bardo's proficiency in back and
wow, and the back air is taking it.
Already at very high %, so we'll see if LoNg0uw can take the stock.
They can back. Survive for a while, particularly off the top.
We'll see how LoNg0uw tried to take the stock without taking a lot of damage.
And particularly against the heavyweights, the up B from Samus isn't quite as powerful as it could be.
Yeah, we're certainly not seeing it come into play very often. Now we
should be surviving this, yes. Even at 165.
Perhaps with rage, but at this %, doesn't seem likely that it will kill anytime soon.
Yeah, it's strange. It doesn't seem like Bardo's been winning that much of the neutral, and yet here he is, a stock up, 65% on LoNg0uw's second stock.
Yeah, I'm not sure at what % LoNg0uw died last stock, but I believe it might have been around 110 or something of those sorts, in which case the total damage incurred by both players in the set is actually very, very close. It's just that Bardo seems to be holding on to the stock forever. After
that monstrous back air. Neutral air, sorry.
Yeah, that 2-hit neutral air. It's a little bit easy to confuse with his back air. It looks very similar. Excuse me, her.
Another easy mistake to make.
Yeah. Very nice air dodge coming down against the DDD up air. Bardo is very good at getting these back airs.
Like almost sealing it.
Yeah, I said earlier that the forward air was going to be a very good boon against that Gordo at the ledge, but it seems like there are some circumstances in which it will not reflect properly. Probably when the DDD is just starting to toss it out. That might have been the reason why that trade happened. Now LoNg0uw doesn't seem so confident in using forward air to go get off the ledge. He's being very careful around those Gordos.
He was lucky that he survived the re-grab.
Oh, that shield pressure starting to get really small for LoNg0uw. Oh, manages to get that neutral B, and that seals it out.
That was a very patient game from both of them.
Yeah.
Neither of them really trying to commit too hard.
Yeah, Bardo was certainly getting the best of LoNg0uw for most of that game, but LoNg0uw suddenly switched into a very...
Just chipping away.
Yeah, switched into a very more passive playstyle. He started running over to the end of the stage, try and charge his ball and try to get Bardo to come to him, and it worked out for him. He managed to get that dash attack that led into the advantage that got him to stock. Double back air, that's a lot of %. See see if Bardo manages to keep his cool after LoNg0uw managed to close out that set, having that last game.
He's being knocked around like in pinball at the moment, unfortunately. This is looking quite rough.
This is Bardo's counter pick too. Doesn't seem like it's working out very well for him.
Perhaps the thought was to try and trap the landings. Because he has those extra jumps, he's a lot safer when landing than Samus. Unfortunately, he's not really been able to get Samus juggled at all.
But it also makes it so that Bardo has no real way to avoid that grab from Samus. Can't land on platforms to avoid getting grabbed. Grab back here is going to do it. Oh, really good read on the jump from Bardo.
Trading power shields there.
Tries to set up a trap with that Gordo.
Samus is just a bit too floaty to have to fall into that.
Yeah, he almost managed to make that trap work, but Samus was barely able to avoid that setup. That was a very odd interaction with that Gordo.
Here's the air dodge there. And that back air is going to... No.
Oh, that was a really good snipe with that Gordo.
Unfortunately, it sends in the wrong direction.
He's getting very tricky with these Gordo angles, and it's making it very hard for LoNg0uw to get back on the stage and regain stage control. Oh, that was an amazing setup.
64% is certainly not undoable for Diddy here.
We saw how long he survived last game, so he certainly still has very good chances of making it in this game as well.
You can see LoNg0uw's just really looking for that air dodge in order to release the charge shot. But Bardo not giving it to him.
That up air seemed like it clipped just from the very edge of its horizontal hitbox.
This is almost a reverse of the last game where Bardo took a pretty substantial lead and LoNg0uw chipped away at it. Now we see LoNg0uw with the initial lead and Bardo's just happy to chip away.
It seems like Bardo seems to be getting a ton out of grabs in this game. This is something I've noticed, that he seems to be...
particularly this second stock. He's
he's been capitalizing very well on LoNg0uw's shielding. See him going for those shield grabs.
Yeah, unfortunately at this percent, I'm not sure how much Diddy is going to be able to get off his grabs.
I think it's going to come down to 50-50s after a down throw to see if he can guess the air dodge or the jump correctly. He might be able to catch it, given Samus's big frame.
Trying to drop the landing here. Retreats back to the ledge.
Bardo very smartly switches up his landings with his multiple jumps to make sure that he doesn't get hit by the neutral B, but he gets hit by it there and just barely takes it. But this is not over yet, guys. This is a best of 5. So Bardo still has an opportunity to make it back.
Bardo elects to run it back. to FD.
It seems like they were both comfortable on this stage. Bardo doesn't seem dissuaded from this stage pick. It was a very close game. It just occurred to me that he probably also wants to avoid Samus's up air to up air to up air up B setups that she might be able to get
on the platforms. Yeah,
especially Battlefield and Dreamland. So that might be a reason why FD seems to be his pick. Oh, these air dodge reads from Bardo.
And that's going to seal the stock.
Amazing back air chain coming from Bardo.
He's
None
now
of those were guaranteed.
A much more comfortable percentage as well. Baiting out the grab there.
That was a very risky side B that Bardo threw out, very calculated.
I think that's really one of the first times where we've seen Bardo exhaust all of his jumps and have to eat that charge shot. But
yeah,
with 99% on Samus already, I don't think we're in percentage for the Shine Spark shenanigans.
Yeah, even then, I think Dedede is such a huge weight that I'm not sure Samus would be able to get an early kill. But that Gordo throw is going to do it. Probably was very unexpected because it didn't look like that was the most optimal DI. But sometimes it's hard to tell when and where to DI those throws.
And that was a far shorter game. I think Bardo has decided to go in a bit more.
I mean, Samus does have the burst to make it through DDD's few camping options in Gordo. So he probably decided that trying to camp it out is not the way to go about having a lead.
Samus perhaps looking for the jab lock.
Yeah,
there,
that seemed like he was going for.
Dedede was just knocked up a little too high.
Yeah, he probably due to the floatiness of DDD prevented that jab block from happening.
I have just realized that I'm using the Japanese pronunciation of DDD. In Japanese we call him Dedede.
Yeah,
that's just force of habit.
Yeah.
I'll stop short of Lizardon and Gekolga and Pudding, but I think Dedede I'm going to have to keep.
We've certainly seen a lot of those as well. I've seen a lot of Jigglypuff play. Oh, wow. Got that set up with that Gordo stage spike.
Samus's magnet is coming in clutch there.
Yeah, just barely
That's
managed
really
to make it back.
I think the first time that we've seen Dedede really pressuring Samus's recovery. And I don't know whether that's down to LoNg0uw or whether it's down to Samus as a character, but I often feel when I'm playing DDDs that there's just almost no safe way back to ledge. Then again, I do main Donkey Kong, so... Well, charge shot taking that out, and LoNg0uw's looking very, very good to take this set.
We see LoNg0uw trying to look for that up air chain. Oh, trying to finish with that forward air. That might have been a misinput, we're not sure. Manages to fall out of the up air despite the big frame on DDD, so really good on Bardo's part. Probably some SDI going along there. Oh, really nice read.
Good spot dodge read there, and that takes the stock.
LoNg0uw was most likely not expecting that. We didn't even see the kill sparks coming out of that down smash. Bardo's in a bit of a tough spot, but it's certainly still doable for him.
He'll then have to win the final game, though, on LoNg0uw's counter pick.
This already seems like it's a bit harder for Bardo than the FD pick that we saw earlier. It does seem like Samus's extra options off of platforms, off of up air, are shining a little bit. And that back air almost does it, but not yet.
He's going to have to worry about shielding as well, because shield's getting a little low.
But after that charge shot was used, it looks like he's a bit more eager to go in. Clearly being very mindful of that charge shot. Oh.
Perhaps attempting the trump there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, manages to roll through. That was an amazing way to get
There's
in.
invincibility frames there, and no, still not enough. 156%.
Manages to get the good DI on that up B, which is sometimes a little bit confusing. No punish on the up B.
Probably that up B is very, very difficult to.
Yeah, probably looking to read some kind of roll option from Bardo, because LoNg0uw looked like he was trying to cover a roll right out of that up B.
LoNg0uw's threatening with back airs, short back airs here, but not pulling the trigger.
Bardo going for it all with that down air. And manages to bait LoNg0uw to go out, but out B's and manages.
No one likes to see that.
That was a very anticlimactic end to that amazing last game. It looked like Bardo was catching up slowly but surely, and in the end, that very, very, very fast fall from DDD spells his demise.
So it looks like the two mid-tier specialists are now lurking in losers.
Yeah, it seems like everybody who's left in winner's bracket right now is playing secondaries. We'll be seeing next, we already announced earlier, Jose Luis, ASDFG, and Light, which will be, I believe, Me Swordsman versus...
perhaps Dr. Mario again.
Yeah, Dr. Mario, yes,
yeah.
That's correct. I was trying to remember what the Light and Ice studying match was looking like. Light was able to take it very convincingly from Ice studying Wario, so we'll see how he does against Me Swordsman. Me Swordsman does have a lot more in the way of disjoints.